which one did you think was more persuasive?
I thought the second one was more persuasive because it had more opinions and it did have some facts involved in it, but the first one was mostly statistics.
Yeah, I thought the second one was a lot more persuasive because he had like an obvious view on what he wanted, where like the first one was more like facts. And then like I looked him up because like sometimes when you get opinion like paragraphs, it's just like someone stating their opinion, and he's actually like this like really good doctor. So if anybody like knows what he's talking about, it's him.
Yeah, second paragraph. And even though, because he also said like when he said he's like traveled to the other countries that have all those like bad diseases that and they can't like pay for vaccinations, then like I thought that was really effective. And
Yeah. What's your personal view on vaccines? Like, what do you think?
I think that it should be mandatory for kids to have vaccinations because there's still diseases that are at large in this world/country, and people need to know about them. They need to have like some protection against like measles or something because it still might pop up somewhere. It's better to be protected than to not have any at all.
I think that a parent should have a choice, but in like certain regions it should be mandatory, because if you go to like foreign regions like parts of Africa that really need those vaccines, it should be mandatory. But if you live in the United States, it should be your choice.
I think it should be mandatory if you're going to do something specific or go somewhere specific. Like, if your child is attending school, then you probably should vaccinate them just in case, because you never know what's going around and stuff. But you know, if your child is like homeschooled and doesn't really do anything, then I think it should be completely up to the parent whether or not they want to vaccinate their children or not.
I think it should be mandatory because especially kids are like around a lot of other kids, so it's easy for like diseases to spread, and like you never know if like something like is gonna pop up someday and we're not gonna know how to like handle it and everyone's gonna get it.
I feel like I have mixed feelings on this because I don't think that like it should be mandatory. Like I don't think people should like have to do it. Like I don't think the government should be able to like force people to do that. But at the same time, I'm like pro-vaccine, so like I think it's like better if people have vaccines, like the disease doesn't spread. So I kind of have like mixed feelings on it.
So on the second reading, the question, where do you agree with each fighter's argument, where do you disagree? So I said I agreed with both paragraphs because they had a lot of information on vaccinations, but the first one had more information on statistics and stuff explaining why people shouldn't be vaccinated. They were both persuasive and started many facts, but I don't know vaccinations, and these paragraphs explain why kids and parents should choose whether the kids should have vaccinations.
I think the statistics is probably a little less persuasive because it didn't have as much information, and I sort of feel like sometimes people can just manipulate statistics to be whatever they want.
Right. I mean, this isn't really a fact, but they said like that like people who are like younger say like they're more likely to want the parents to be able to choose because they haven't like been around that, like they haven't been around when like the diseases were around, so like nowadays we don't have them as much, and so that's why they may be more like wanting parents to be able to decide.
In the second paragraph, I agree when he says that people don't get worked up if it works, but it's a whole nother world if the child has an adverse reaction.
If you never get the disease, it's like it doesn't really matter, but then when you do get it, so it's the same thing with like if one person gets like autism or paralyzed or something from it, then like everybody's like, oh, vaccines are horrible. Well, nobody really pays attention when they like actually do work and stuff.
What questions could you ask during discussion? Okay, so I said, what key sentences help you understand the author's view on the subject? And one of them was, older Americans are strong supporters of required childhood vaccination. 79% say they hold that view compared to the 59% of those under 30. And that gives you the impression that people under 30 don't really think about it that much because they just probably had a kid or something like that and they don't really think it through. But people who are older have more experience on the matter and actually know some stuff about it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the people under 30 don't know anything about it, but they might have different views on the subject instead of
Right.
same.
I researched like the vaccine debate, and so like some people like they decide to like delay vaccines for their like kids. So then like I don't know, there's this aluminum or something in vaccines that like if they get too much, then that's what causes like autism, like being paralyzed or some stuff like that. But like this like doctor thinks that you get like the kids get more aluminum in like the milk that they like take in, and also that they're unprotected when they're littlest, like so you're actually harming them more if you don't give them vaccines when they're littlest.
I think that the most probably persuasive sentence that made me think a lot more about the topic was the last sentence in the second article, where it says, "It's not just because I love my kids that I vaccinate them; it's because I love your kids as well," which is probably, it kind of points out something that people weren't really thinking about, the fact that you're also putting a ton of other people in danger if they haven't been vaccinated either.
That's the exact sentence I have for mine too.
Yeah, me too.
And the guy's a renowned neurosurgeon, so he probably knows what he's talking about
Yeah.
compared to like a company that like is just talking about it. And he probably has more views because in a company you have to take into account all of the people who are searching up the vaccinations. They might have different views on it. So I think he had more facts and opinions about the subject than the other.
I researched the guy, and he has written many New York Times best-selling books, but he's also been criticized for some of his biased opinions on the subject.
Yeah. I think like if your kid has allergies or if like they get autism or something, then like then you'd just be like, then you'd be biased that way, but then if you like got protection from it, then you're biased the other way. So it's kind of, there are facts, but at the same time it's mostly like opinions.
I read about this girl, and she was worried that the vaccine that she was giving her kids would give her kids autism, right? So she's with this doctor, and the doctor tells her just to get her kids vaccinated and see what happens, right? So she gets her kids vaccinated, and then probably, I think she was like, her daughter was 24 months when the doctor told her that her daughter had autism, but they discussed it, or the doctor discussed it with her, and it turned out that she actually was showing symptoms of autism way before she got her vaccines. So this woman whose daughter has autism doesn't blame vaccines for it, so I can't say that everyone is biased in their opinion.
Yeah.
When I looked up the passage, it was talking about like how some like states have already like they don't allow exemptions to vaccines due to like certain beliefs, like religiously and like other beliefs. Do you think that should be like, do you think that's like a good reason to not have a vaccine, or do you think that like, how do you feel about like
Well,
that?
I think that they made a good decision because maybe like, as it said, there's more people who want vaccines than who don't, and that probably goes to show why they're good for you and like they can help you protect from disease. But that doesn't mean that they're like completely safe. Like what Ada said, you can, or you said you can get aluminum in your system. So it all depends on like what the people vote and what they want. So
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good idea because, like, I mean, I know because of like religious stuff, but like, it's like you could like die if you get like Ebola or like measles or stuff like that, and you could be spreading it to other people. So it's like safest to just have the vaccine.
Like I could definitely see why they like where they'd be coming from, but I don't think it.
Yeah.
I think everybody needs to be like, because you're protecting yourself and the people around you. So.
Yeah. And like back to the autism thing, I researched that too. And like kids start showing like signs of autism like right about the time they're supposed to get their first vaccine. So it could like not even be from the vaccine. It could just be like they're starting to show signs just at that time. Yeah. Do you think you'd be more likely to like be vaccinated after someone in your family got like a disease, or like you got a disease yourself?
I would say yes and no, because if it's not like a bad disease, I probably wouldn't care. But if it was like say Ebola or something like that, then it would be a big deal, and probably everyone who's been around the person get vaccinated. But it all kind of like revolves around what the disease was and how it's going to affect like other people around you.
Well, I think should get vaccinated because I mean you spend your time with those people, so like you have a higher chance of like catching them.
I think it probably depends for me as well on what the disease is, because it could be a hereditary disease and it might not be contagious. So if it was that, I don't think I would, just to be safe. But if it was something that was highly contagious, then yeah, I definitely would just go and get the vaccine.
I would probably get a vaccine anyways, just because this one would be on the safe side.
Yeah.